From putting half the NBA on a poster to his blinged out lifestyle, here are 10 things you didn't know about Anthony Edwards. And kicking things off at number 1. While it's known that Anthony Edwards grew up living in a cramped apartment in the Oakland City section of Atlanta, what many don't know is that Edwards grew up being friends with ADL rapper Lil Baby. They both came from the same Atlanta neighborhood, which probably explains why they randomly linked up. They even dropped comments on each other's IG posts, keeping it chill. Edwards even previewed an unreleased Lil Baby track once, spitting every word like it was his own. And get this, he's teased a rap collab with Lil Baby and claims he raps like him, even using Lil Baby's lyrics to amp up the team for games.
Pretty good team, or regardless of what team you play, is there a specific hype song that you gotta listen to get going?
Lil Baby, any song. Lil Baby, hey, respect.
But at number 2, we gotta talk about how Edwards became the first overall pick in the NBA draft. See, Edwards has been a rising star since way back. In his senior year at Atlanta Holy Spirit Prep, he was tearing it up, averaging 25.7 points, 9.6 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 2.1 steals, and 1.1 blocks per game. Now here's the twist. Even though he was ranked as the number 2 recruit in the 2019 cycle, he surprised everyone by picking his hometown Bulldogs over big names like Florida State and Kentucky. And during his time at Georgia, he kept the fire burning, averaging 19.1 points and 5.2 rebounds per game in 32 outings, with 27 games hitting double-figure scoring. Okay, sure, his three-point shooting wasn't good at 29.4%, but his NBA-level athleticism made up for it, especially around the rim. Now, when it came to the 2020 draft, there wasn't a clear-cut favorite for the number 1 pick. Edwards was up against James Wiseman and LaMelo Ball in the top 3. However, the Timberwolves went with Edwards as the first overall pick. And you know what? So far, looks like they made the right call. But coming in at number 3, we gotta talk about Ant-Man's favorite artist. So in a recent GQ interview, Anthony Edwards spilled some tea about himself. And one thing that got people talking? His love for music, particularly Nicki Minaj's music. He mentioned that he jams out to Nicki before hitting the court, calling her one of the best artists out there.
The music that pumps me up before every game, I listen to Nicki Minaj. She the best in the world, yeah. Just shuffle it. I don't even have a favorite song, I just love her music.
But as crazy as Ant-Man's music taste is, at number 4, one thing many people don't know is that Edwards is very cheap. Now, Edwards is often spotted blinged out, just like many other NBA stars who love to flaunt their ice. But here's the kicker, most of his bling is actually fake. During a sit-down with Complex Sports, Edwards spilled the beans, revealing that he opts for fake jewelry because he's not keen on dropping big bucks on the real deal. He even confessed that his earrings, the ones that catch everyone's eye, are knockoffs, chosen simply because they look good.
You say that we need to leave wearing multiple chains to rappers.
Yeah, that's their job.
I was just wondering, can you tell me about this?
Even pull up a picture with me with multiple chains on.
What's that then?
That's a chain.
Yeah, how many chains you got?
That's 2 chains, but it ain't. The little one is like some bullshit for real. It really was fake. It just looked good.
It wasn't fake.
Nah, it was fake.
That's a fake chain you wear?
And really, ain't nobody really seeing. You see how you got to zoom in on it?
No, I mean, you have on 2 chains.
But it ain't obvious though. Like, find another picture of me wearing 2 chains.
No, I will find it.
You ain't gonna find one.
But so you was wearing a fake chain in this picture?
Yeah.
How much?
People gonna think it real anyway because it's me.
So you be wearing fake?
Hell yeah.
What's
I ain't gonna spend all that money on that jewelry.
What other fake items do you own?
Both of them chain fake.
Both of them. Them earrings you got on right now?
Fake. They just look good. So
the shoes you got on right now?
Nah, they real.
Okay.
Yeah, they real.
And get this, it's not like he's scraping for cash. This guy signed a massive 5-year deal that could rack up to a jaw-dropping $260 million by mid-2024. So it's just all about keeping those dollars in his pocket. Sounds like a smart move to me, but hey, who's really keeping score, right? That said, coming in at number 5 is a little known fact. In recent years, Anthony Edwards has been one of the most compared superstars to NBA legend Michael Jordan. The buzz around Edwards being the next Jordan started heating up back when an NBA scout, speaking anonymously to ESPN's Tim McMahon, dubbed Edwards the next Michael Jordan. Even Patrick Beverley chimed in, comparing Edwards to Jordan during a chat on JJ Redick's podcast.
Pat, I wanted to ask you about some of your current teammates, Ant in particular. He's a human highlight reel, but what do you think just being around him, what makes him special? What have you seen so far? And what do you sort of think is next for him?
Man, if I say this, man, I know y'all the world go look at me like I'm crazy and I go put all that pressure on that kid. But when I told him, man, you got a chance, man. You got a chance, brother, to be Michael Jordan, brother.
But, you gotta wonder, are these comparisons for real? Sure, Edwards has a sick offensive skill set, but it's his killer mindset that totally matches Jordan's game. So you can't say these comparisons are totally biased, but let's keep it real. Saying Edwards is the next Jordan might be a bit much for now. He's gotta level up his game big time before he reaches the heights of MJ. Edwards himself, when asked about the comparisons, humbly acknowledged that he's got a long way to go before he's worthy of such a praise.
So Stephen A. Smith, Kevin Garnett, Kendrick Perkins, they have all compared you to the next coming of Michael Jordan. What do you say to that?
I mean, how would I look denying it? But I don't want to be compared to somebody of such caliber. I mean, I haven't did anything on his level yet, but I love it. I love that they got faith in me for sure. I mean, they not wrong.
But hey, the dude's confidence is on point. Just see what he had to say when they asked him if Jordan could handle guarding him.
But if that era was today, do you feel like MJ could guard you?
Hell no. No.
You know, he is they say one of the greatest defensive players.
Yeah, no.
Why? Do you see flaws in, when you look at him defensively?
I'm not looking for that. I just don't think he can guard me.
But at number 6, when you're the top draft pick and already an all-star like Ant-Man, it's only a matter of time before you get your own kicks. Now, here's the thing. Edwards had a clause in his Adidas contract that promised him a signature shoe once he made it to the NBA All-Star team. So, after averaging 24.6 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 4.4 assists last season, Edwards snagged a spot in his first ever All-Star game in 2023. And just a few months later, Adidas unveiled the AE1, Edwards' very own sneaker, at a homecoming event in his Atlanta neighborhood of Oakland City. These kicks featured a molded upper with ventilation on the side panels and a neoprene inner cushion for extra comfort. And let's talk style. They come in fancy colorways like peach and pink, honoring Edwards' grandma and mom's favorite colors. The message is loud and clear. Anthony Edwards has officially entered the sneaker scene, and he's ready to shake up the game with the AEs. Next up at number 7, let's talk about Edwards and his beef with the referees. Now, Ant-Man's had his fair share of run-ins with the men in black and white, but he really turned up the heat after a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Despite the Minnesota Timberwolves bagging a solid 107-101 win, Edwards felt his squad got the short end of the stick with several no calls from the refs. So what does he do? He straight up calls them cheating-ass refs.
How did you get it done in this environment?
I don't know, and I'm going to take the fine because the refs did not give us no calls tonight. We had to play through every bump, every grab. I don't know how we won tonight. Big shout out to my team, big shout out to my coaches, for sure.
And claims they didn't give his team any calls, leaving him scratching his head about how they managed to snatch the win. Yeah, the dude was heated. But here's the kicker. Calling out NBA officials is pretty much a one-way ticket to a fine. And boy, did Edwards get hit hard with one. Edwards was fined $40,000 for repeatedly publicly criticizing the officials. But you know what? He was ready to cough up that cash even before the fine came in. That's some serious dedication to speaking his mind for sure. That said, at number 8, while many people know Edwards as one of the best basketball players on the planet right now, his path has been far from smooth. You see, growing up, Edwards didn't have his father around, so it was his mom and grandma who held down the fort. They were his biggest fans, showing up to every game decked out in jerseys, cheering him on like champs. But as Edwards was rising through the ranks as a basketball star, his mother's health took a turn for the worse, and she passed away in January 2015. And if that wasn't enough, just 7 months later, his grandma's cancer returned, and she also passed away. And just like that, he lost 2 of the most important people in his life within 8 months. It hit Edwards hard, but instead of letting it break him, he used it as fuel to push even harder in basketball. So when he finally made it to the NBA, he wanted to pay tribute to his mom and grandma in a special way. And in the 2023 offseason, he got his chance. He made the switch from wearing number 1 to a special number 5. Now, 5's always been his number in high school, college, and AAU, but this time, he chose it specifically to honor his grandmother and mother, both of whom passed away on the 5th day of the month. But at number 9, we gotta talk about how Dwayne Wade played a big part in Edwards' decision to commit to Georgia University. So coming out of high school, Edwards was a big deal. He was rated as a 5-star recruit, a top 5 player, and even crowned as the top shooting guard in the 2019 class. With big names like Kansas, Kentucky, and North Carolina knocking on his door, it was a tough decision. But in the end, his hometown school, Georgia, won him over for a major reason. You see, the Bulldogs head coach, Tom Crean, had quite an impressive track record. He coached Dwayne Wade for several years back when he was at Marquette. Together, they even made it to a Final Four, and Wade became a top 5 NBA draft pick. Now, Wade happened to be one of Edwards' favorite players, and they shared a pretty similar playing style. That connection was all it took to sway Edwards to choose Georgia and coach Crean over powerhouses like Florida State and Kentucky. But at number 10, we have to talk about another Anthony Edwards talent that many people don't know. You see, Edwards isn't your typical pro athlete. Nope, not at all. Anthony's pretty goofy and loves to make jokes anytime he can.
Like exactly what you guys see on Twitter and social media all the time. That is him. I even got to tell this story yet. Like, so we remember Dame and Donovan just kept shooting from half court. Yep. He just kept shooting from half court. Me and Ant sitting on the bench because we ain't even really play that much like that. We was just along for the ride at that point. But Dame pulled up from like probably 3 steps behind the logo. Ant, look at me. Did he hit you with the ooh, Ant looked at me. He said, he shot that bitch from Yucatan. I said, Yucatan? I said, what did you just say? He's like, Yucatan. I said, is that a real place? He's like, nah, that's how far that bitch was.
There you have it. 10 things you didn't know about Anthony Edwards. Let us know down below which one of these moments surprised you the most. If you like this video, head over to our channel and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new videos.